Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles, now some spicy Eagles rumors. Could the Birds be making some surprising changes to their starting lineup? And we're going to talk about two changes to the starting lineup. Specifically, could Mekhi Becton start at right guard over Tyler Steen? There's some buzz there. And could Kelee Ringo unseat Darius Slay as the team's starting cornerback? Stay tuned for all of that. First, if you love the Philadelphia Eagles, go Birds. If you're about that life, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video right now. If you don't support the Eagles, what are you doing here? Either way, thank you so much for watching the show. So there's some buzz going into Eagles training camp at the end of July that Mekhi Becton, former first-round pick for the New York Jets back in 2020, could start at right guard alongside Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson. Really, Chase? Yes, really. He has never played guard at the NFL level before, but Jeff Stoutland, this Eagles coaching staff, they're trying to develop him as a guard, which adds to his positional versatility and value to this team because he's already the top backup swing tackle who could play right tackle and left tackle, and he could play both guard spots. So the arrow is pointing up for Mekhi Becton as he's looking to resurrect his career after a couple of sour years to end his Jets tenure. Now, Tyler Steen got the first team snaps at right guard during OTAs as well as mandatory minicamp. Mekhi Becton, though, did get the starting left guard snaps with Landon Dickerson away from the team and excused absence during mandatory camp. And at 6'7", 365 pounds, Mekhi Becton's potential is enormous. Him as a player, also enormous. And while I think he's a really intriguing player, he's only 25 years old. He was the 11th overall pick back in 2020. He had a very impressive rookie year. It looked as though he was going to be the left tackle of the future for the New York Jets. He moves extremely well for his size with light feet and a powerful punch. And Mekhi Becton is a player who could be the byproduct of the Eagles player development program and a Jeff Stoutland University masterpiece. Becton even said last week from mandatory minicamp, he's enjoying his time in Philadelphia so much, where he could see himself spending the rest of his career with the Philadelphia Eagles after just signing with this team not long ago. He said he loves the city, loves the organization, loves the fan base, and he came here because of the offensive line talent, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, he mentioned them specifically, but Jeff Stoutland, the best offensive line coach in the NFL, who does a great job of grooming, developing, maximizing offensive linemen. Becton will have value on this team regardless of whether or not he starts because he can play swing tackle, very valuable if a player were to go down. He could play backup guard, and I'm not ruling out the possibility of Becton starting at guard. Now, in 2023, not good. That's why the Jets did not retain him. And then in the draft, they drafted Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. The number's not pretty. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 53.2, pass blocking grade of 60.7, run blocking grade of 56.3, 985 snaps, 644 of those by way of pass blocking snaps. He committed 18 penalties, gave up 12 sacks, 8 hits on the quarterback, and an astounding 50 pressures. He did play left tackle, and he also played right tackle. But there's a better player in there. And I think this is why Philadelphia took a chance on Becton, because as a rookie, this is what he did as a plug-and-play starter. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 74.4, well over league average. Pass blocking grade of 76. Run blocking grade of nearly 74. He did give up 23 pressures. That's not ideal. 7 sacks allowed. Not great either for a quarterback's blind side. 1 hit, though. 7 penalties. And he played all of his snaps that year as the 11th overall pick at left tackle. This will be a good camp battle. I don't think that Tyler Steen, just because he's getting first-team right guard snaps, is definitely going to start at right guard. If Mekhi Becton, at that size, with that ability, with that potential, just starts pancaking cats and moving dudes and open up gaping holes for Saquon Barkley in the running game, protecting Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, Eagles coaching staff could look at him and say, we can't afford to have this man on the bench. Pick a starter at right guard. Who would you go with as of right now? Tyler Steen, who Jeff Stoutland said has a little bit of Brandon Brooks to his game, or Mekhi Becton type NB down in the comment section right now. We're going to talk Kelee Ringo coming up here in just a moment. First, want to tell you once again about this deal. Thanks to our friends at Fanatics, the Brotherly Shove shirt on sale for just $22. Limited time only, chatsports.com/brotherly shove. Put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video so that you can look good, support the Birds with a very creative shirt that's guaranteed to be a conversation starter, turn some heads because I already bought it, and the same thing has happened to me. Will Kelee Ringo start? Kelee Ringo, 4th-round pick from the 2023 draft, coming off a great spring. And there's some chatter that maybe he could unseat Darius Slay as cornerback 1 because of how deep the Eagles are at the cornerback spot. And, of course, Darius Slay, as we know, getting a little bit older. This is what we do know. The Eagles have an embarrassment of riches at the cornerback spot. And having this many options and depth, and I'm talking quality options and quality depth, in a pass-happy league and era, when you're going up against some really talented premier quarterbacks, it's a great thing, especially because Philadelphia was so terrible last year with their pass defense. In my roster projection for who makes the 53-man following mandatory minicamp, these are the corners I have making the team. Darius Slay, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Isaiah Rodgers, Kelee Ringo, Avonte Maddox, and Eli Ricks. I went with 7 total players. Who's going to start? That's a huge mystery going into the end of the summer. Why I think Ringo is so intriguing, the speed. 4.3 40-yard dash. And that long speed was on display during OTAs and minicamp, where he's running with Paris Campbell and John Ross, who are 4.2, 4.3 guys. I know that it's Paris Campbell and John Ross, right? But 4.3 speed is 4.3 speed. Kelee Ringo also has some decent length and good height. He's also a really young player who I think is molding into his fullest potential. He turns 22 on June 27th. So when he was drafted by Philadelphia, he was 20 years old. Last year when he was inserted into the lineup, I thought he performed well in limited time. The confidence is now up at a position which you need confidence at. Had a tremendous spring. And going into the draft in 2023, his stock kind of fell. But going into the previous season at Georgia, some people were looking at Kelee Ringo as a first or second round pick because of the ability and the potential that he does have. And you look at his Pro Football Focus grades from his rookie campaign. He did only log 116 coverage snaps, so the sample size small. But for a rookie on a poorly coached defense with a bad scheme, overall grade of 64.5, not bad. Run defense grade of 73.5, I want to point that out because I thought Ringo against the run made a couple of good plays with some TFLs and showed off some physicality in taking down some ball carriers against the run. A coverage grade of 63.8 in the yellow, not in the red. Allowed a passer rating of 74.1 and did have 1 interception. The question becomes, who would Kelee Ringo start over? And what would the Eagles do with their starting outside corners? I still think Darius Slay has the inside track of being cornerback 1. But who starts on the other side? Is it Kelee Ringo? Is it Quinion Mitchell? Is it Isaiah Rodgers? Pretty sure the Eagles are going to continue to have Cooper DeJean out of the slot. I think that's smart. And Slay in 2023, some people think that he was on a James Bradbury level of being so bad. Look, he wasn't that bad, and it's hard to gauge which players were good, which players were bad, because the defense was historically putrid. He had an overall PFF grade of 68.4. It's right around league average, right? Coverage grade of 68.5. Passer rating allowed of 82.3. 2 interceptions. He still had 14 pass breakups. And he missed some time. And he admitted that knee injury that he had to get surgery on, it's been hurting him for the last couple of years. And now coming off of that, Feels as though he's regained some speed. He's back to being 100%. Darius Slay, ladies and gentlemen, he could still play in this league. I still think he's cornerback 1 on this team. Who should the 2 starting outside corners be? You can hop inside the coaching room with Nick Sirianni and make that decision for yourself right now here on Eagles Now. Curious to see what you come up with.